Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. I'm so glad that you chose to be with us this morning. Welcome to Transforming Love Community this morning, where we say all the time TLC is the place to be. So, welcome, welcome. Let me know who's out there and how your morning is going. It's such a beautiful, beautiful morning. The sun was just radiant, right? The sun was radiant this morning, and I am so happy that we get to be in this space together. You, me, and God, and all of God's property. Good morning, Sonia Terry. How are you, boo? Good to see you. Joy. Good morning. Good morning. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. How's my Liam? Hopefully he's well. Yes. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Oh. Hey, boo. Audra. You out there shaking up the world, boo. I love you too. Yeah. Continue all of your good works. All of your good work. Kalima. Grand Rising, boo. Las Vegas. How are you? As you all come in, Queen T. Oh, it's so good to see you all. Oh, so good to see you. Hey, Faith. Oh, so good to see you. I just want you to take a nice deep breath. Woo. It is amazing how God shows up. Dr. Spencer, the Reverend Dr. Spencer Murray. Good morning, my brother. Good morning. My Chicago people, hey Mercy. Oh, Don Don, you and Mama Bird, welcome. Welcome. Hope and miracles. I love that. Good morning, Boo. Oh, I just want you to take a nice deep breath in. Hey, Franny, take a nice deep breath in. Oh, what a privilege to breathe God's air. Oh, what a privilege it is. And a blessing it is. Because it is the breath that lets us know that we are connected to God. Yes. Welcome. Welcome. I would like to thank and bless a spirit known as Reverend Shahira Stevens. For I know that wherever she is and whatever she is doing, hey, Rev, I called your name out. Oh, that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, I know that the hand of God is upon it. And kiss mom for us. Send her some love from TLC. Yes, yes. So take another nice, long, deep breath in. And I want you to hold it. Just hold it. And then take in some more. And then release it. As I stated, it is such an honor, such a privilege to breathe in God's air. Well, I just want to start off with our announcements. Reverend Nikki, Start off with announcements. You know that there's so much going on here at Transforming Love Community. We just want to let you know about what's going on. All right. And this is a new mailing address for those of you who bless us through the mail. Please take a note, write it down, commit it to memory. This is the new mailing address for Transforming Love Community. And so when you are mailing in checks and cards and all of that good stuff, this is where you mail it to. All right? Make a note and um, and we will get anything and everything that you send us. Praise God. Listen, I ask for your prayers. Tomorrow, a very dear mentor of mine, who is the reason for me being one of the reasons for me being the massage therapist I am today. She has made her transition. So I raised up the name of Octavia Brown, and her services are tomorrow. So Soap Monday for tomorrow has been canceled, but next Monday we'll be right there, same time and same place. Thank you. Oh yeah. Look, The Laws of Spirit by Dan Millman is our spiritual study. Come and join us. You don't have to have the book. The discussion is powerful enough. Join us Tuesday. The Zoom ID number and the passcode is right here, and everything in our announcements is on our website, transforminglovecommunity.com. So come, I want to see your face in the place on Tuesday. Yes, yes. Begin within. This is our begin within in the month of divine order. Yes, begin within. And next week, join the Reverend Royce Thomason as he is, we call him the closer. He can just sum everything up and close it off so nicely. So come next Sunday and hear Reverend Royce give his message of love, of love. Mm, I just want to praise God right now. I just want to thank God right now for the life and the love that we experience right here and right now. I'm just so grateful. My heart is open, which flows everything that God has blessed us with. Open your hearts, open your minds as you prepare yourself for this message. As we open the channels of how divine energy flows through us this morning, come with an open mind and an open heart and prepare to be blessed as God shows up in you, shows up through me in this right now, present moment. I just thank God for all that is done, all that He's doing right now, and all the blessings that are yet to be. I say amen and ashe. Ooh. I want to thank Reverend Shahira for a divine idea called Taste and See. And she has given us so many wonderful tidbits of who TLC is and those that come to worship here. And so I hope you have been tuning in for I don't even want to call them interviews because they're not interviews. They're just, let's say spots of spirit. Okay, just spots of spirit. And so this morning, part of our Old Taste and See legacy, I want to introduce you to the fabulous Dr. Fabu Johnson. Ah, grand morning. Grand morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
TLC family and my sister
Oh,
friend, Reverend Shahira.
yes, yes, yes. She got her eyes and ears on this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it has been such a wonderful segment for us to talk to people just to see what Transforming Love Community has been and has meant to them. And I've learned a lot about a lot of people, and it has been so inspiring to me. How about you, Dr. Pepper?
Whew, yes, I was thinking about the legacy when Rev talked about it a few months ago. And
Mm,
I said, she started the blueprint for this so many years ago,
yeah.
longer than 25 years. I met her at Transformation Station.
Mm-hmm.
She was Linda Beatty at the time.
Yes, at the time.
At the time. And we would go and listen to her speak about relationships, spirit, astrology, all kinds of things. And I bought so many cassette tapes
I
so that
know.
I could listen to her afterwards because it was so powerful.
Yes.
And my sister friend, Kosawa, took me to meet her.
Mm,
And then, shortly after that, she decided she received a call to become a minister. And that was a beautiful experience for her in terms of expanding her repertoire around that.
yes.
And then she started TLC, Transforming Love
Love.
Community. And I said, how powerful, because she knew that the work we would be doing would be transformational
Yes.
and that we needed love to be the anchor of that transformation. I mean, looking at your shadow side,
Come
understanding,
on
you
now.
know,
Okay.
understanding all the things that you had been through. She knew
Oh,
that if we were going to engage into a journey of transformation, love would need to be the anchor.
yes.
And then a community to
A
make that happen.
community. Yeah.
A community to
Mm-hmm.
make that happen.
Yes.
Transforming love community. And I mean, just some of our workshops and our lessons
Yes.
held spaces for us to be vulnerable and to experience spirit at its highest. I remember
Yes.
at that one workshop where I just wept and cried, and the community, the transforming love community, just wrapped me in love.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
the
they tend to do that. That
yeah,
community really tends to do that. Yeah.
yes. What
Hmm.
a wonderful legacy
Yeah.
to leave and to have vibrating around us
Hmm.
this powerful love fest.
Yes. Yeah. That is what we have. It's like it's a love fest. I knew Shahira before because and the connection that we had is her beloved Bobby was my truly the older brother for me because his mother and my mother were best friends.
Wow.
And so Bobby knew me before I was even Danny. Okay. So it was just so I knew her in that realm. And then Reverend Shahira was born.
Yes.
And oh my Lord, changed lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally changed lives. And I came to to TLC also through Iyanla Van Zant, even though, of course our sister, has gathered like-minded people for so long. The attraction was just amazing. And I went to the college to to be in one of the services,
Yes.
and then followed her right on over there to Plymouth Road, and so it's been a journey, hasn't it?
It's been a journey, and I am just glad that I've been a part of this journey. And the insight that Rev has had around transformation is so powerful because she understands that you have to transform to become your real self, your
Yes.
true self, to release all the old programming so that you can experience the God in you. And that whole concept that she teaches in TLC about tapping into the God within you is new for a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
And that's why love, this whole love community helps people to deal with that.
Mm,
So
yeah. She
this
taught us to look within ourselves because that's where the love
yeah,
is.
to
It's not
look
an
within.
external thing. Yeah,
Yes, and it is a journey,
it's a
you know,
journey.
and but
Hmm.
there's no time limit, there's not this, you're not trying to find the end of the journey. You're in the midst of the
In the
journey,
midst of it,
in
yes,
the midst of it, so that God can experience itself through you, which
absolutely.
Rev teaches. Powerful legacy of
Yes,
love.
a legacy of love. Yes. All right, Dr. Fabu, thank you for those words and thank you for your spirit. I tell you, when I think of your spiritual contribution to this ministry, it is invaluable, invaluable. And I am so honored that you were joining us this morning. And I just love you.
Oh, I love you too.
I just love you. And as my girlfriend Frankie Darcell say, ain't nothing you can do about it. Okay? It ain't nothing you can do about it.
And I
So
love you, and I love TLC, a
yes,
powerful love community. And I love my sister friend, Reverend Shahira.
yes. Reverend Shahira, absolutely. All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Oh,
My
mm,
pleasure.
mm. We're going to talk about the divine flow of spirit. I just want to thank Reverend Spencer Murray for last week. He had a divine setup when he told us, or he shared with us, to live with heaven in mind. And I just I just screamed. You know how, when the service is in motion and the things are being opened up and they're saying pow 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 pow. I'm screaming. I was like, oh, and I can't type enough. I can't type fast enough to say, yes, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I know. That's what I am. Yes. So he told us last week to live with heaven in mind. Let your speaking, let your doing, let your thinking be with heaven in mind. And so I just want to piggyback off of Reverend Spencer, because when we live with heaven in mind, we are in the divine flow of spirit. You see, it's nothing that comes to us, it's what flows from us that we live, that we have our being in. John 7:38 says, if anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Rivers of living water will brim and spill out of the depths of anyone who believes in me this way, just as the scriptures say. So as we thirst for this this way of being, living with heaven in mind, as we take on this life's journey, spirit flows through us. It's nothing that we have to go out and gather. It's nothing that we go out and gather. It's in us and it flows through us. So how does it flow? How does this divine spirit flow through us? And I just want to tell you a little story about my grandchildren when they were little ones, and we say all the time, out of the mouths of babes. So I had bought them this sprinkler, Blues Clues. I don't know if you are familiar with Blues Clues. It's a little blue dog with these flappy ears. And I connect the sprinkler to the hose, and the ears are supposed to flap around and spring water forth, and they could get wet. So I hook up the hose and I hook Blue up to the other end and I cut on the water, and Blue's little ears was just like barely moving. And I'm like, wow, what is going on? And so I see that there is a hole in the hose. So I'm trying to cover the hole so at least Blue can get some more water so that they can ears can spin and they can go out there and get wet. Because right now they see Blue, they know what he's supposed to do, and they ready to get wet. Okay, and so no matter how I held it, no matter it, Blue just wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So anyway, I say, well, kids, Blue having a little issue right now. And Halima say, oh, no, 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 Fifi. Blue don't have the issue. Your hose got the issue. And so I said, out of the mouths of babes. Because even though I was hooked up to the source of water, there was a hole somewhere that I was leaking part of my flow. So I want to talk about where the source comes from, how we hook up into the source, how we allow it to flow through us so that we then could live with heaven in mind. You see, that spigot was where the source came from. So unless the spigot was open, there was no water. It could not flow. It could not flow through the hole so that the other end could do what its purpose was to sprinkle out water so that the babies could get wet. See, we have to be connected to divine spirit so that whatever we need to flow through us could fulfill our divine purpose. We got to hook up to the source. Now, if I didn't open the spigot, the water couldn't come through the hose. So, first of all, we got to know that the spirit, we have to be open to the spirit to receive. We have to be open so that we can turn those channels open so that we get the messages, we get the lessons that spirit has for us. And then we have to look at what our hose looks like. What is our hose? Our hose is our consciousness. What are we feeding our consciousness? What is coming through from the divine that we can move out and live, as Reverend Spence says, was heaven in mind. So now, if the hose is our consciousness, and I had a hole in my hose where Blue couldn't fulfill his divine purpose, what kind of holes do you have in your hose? What kind of hole do you have in your hose? So what is the holes that we have that keep us from fulfilling and allowing God's divine flow to come through us that we can fulfill our divine purpose? Is it the hole of unworthiness? Is it the hole of feeling separated from God? Is it the hole of not feeling that you are enough? That was my hole. That was my hole for so long. I didn't feel like I was enough. Is your hole feeling not good enough or not important? And in our desire to be so incredibly independent and self sufficient, often we get in the way of the connection to the source, knowing that you don't have to do, you just have to be. We get in our own way. All those holes in the holes, I tell you, they will block the flow. They will clog the flow up, and you will not be able to really get to where you need to be in spirit so you can live out your divine purpose. So you got to fill up the holes in your hose. And how do we do that? Because we're blocking our good. Have you ever seen, if you had a plumber? I just had a plumber come, and I had little trickles of water coming out of my sink in the kitchen. And so I was boiling water on the sink and pouring it in the pot and doing all of this kind of stuff and until he could get there. And so once he took out the pipes or whatever it is, they take out the pipes and then they show you the crud that's inside the pipe that was not letting the flow come through. All right. The crud, and I say crud because it was crud. All right. We have crud in our consciousness and we have to clear it out. So, how do we clear out our consciousness so that we can allow the divine flow of spirit to flow through us? Remember, I said it's not coming to us, it's flowing through us. We already have what we need, but we're blocking it with the crud and the holes in the holes. All right. So we teach spiritual principles. You can open your consciousness with a divine daily spiritual practice. When you wake up in the morning, what is it that you do? What is it that you do that allows the spirit to come in and move through you during the course of your day? What do you do? Do you give thanks? And Meister Eckhart says, if you do nothing but give thanks, that is enough. Do you give thanks for just waking up in your right mind? Being able to hear, see, taste, touch, feel. Do you give thanks? Do you pray? Do you have a conversation with God? How do you talk to God? What do you say? Is it an intimate conversation? Or is it always a 911 conversation? Is it a crisis conversation as opposed to us talking with God to get the 411, to get some information, to get a download, if you will? Do we journal about our feelings? Do we meditate? Are we still? These are ways that we can keep the channel of spirit open so it doesn't get clogged up and bogged down with crud. Do you visualize? Do you envision? Do you dance your prayers? I tell you, when I took this course on how to pray, part of the course was dancing your prayers. And oh my God, just the consciousness of putting on some music and just allowing your body to be an open channel for spirit to flow was amazing, was absolutely amazing. So, how are you waking up? And how are you going to sleep? Do you lay down with all of the junk that happened to you that day? Or do you just get, well, thank you, God, for the experience of today? Thank you. And even though it wasn't pleasant, I know that there's a lesson in it for me, and I'm going to lay down and I'm going to be at peace with it. How are you waking up and how are you going to bed? See, flow is an open ended process. There is no flow until activity is happening on both ends, the coming out and the letting. It has to be on both ends. It is a steady and it is a constant flow of energy, and it is neither determined or defined by a single place or point of time. It's not. Energy is always flowing. God is always flowing, always everywhere present. It's not defined by any walls. It's not defined by any regulations. Spirit is, and it's always flowing. And our responsibility is to hook up to the flow. That's our responsibility. And responsibility means being responsible. So what are you able to do? Can you do what you're able to do? All right. If you don't have time that morning to go through your spiritual practice because the day started off busy or whatever it is, what can you do? Can you do something? I remember Iyanla said, I got 5 on it. I got 5 on it. I got 5 minutes of stillness. I got 5 minutes of movement. And then I got 5 minutes of just being silent. Can you just do 5 to hook up to the flow? That's 15 minutes. If you don't have 15 minutes for yourself in the course of your 24-hour day, you are out of balance, okay? And we talked about balance last week in class, so you have to come with us this week so we can talk about choice, okay? We talked about balance. If you don't have 15 minutes in the course of your day to put 5 on silence, 5 on meditation, and 5 on some type of, it could be a song, it could be a dance, whatever it is, that's 15 minutes. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you keep those channels open so that you can hear God, so that you can speak to God, so that you can experience who God is in you? Can you put something on it? And God's not asking for you to be sprawled out. God just say, hey, I'm here. Can you feel me? Can you see me? Can you touch me? Can you be with me? And all you have to do is say yes. All right? All you have to do is say yes. It's almost like there's a constant flow of spirit all the time. And it's just like breathing, inhaling and exhaling. You don't have to tell yourself to inhale and exhale. You don't. Not unless you're doing conscious breathing. I'm not talking about that. But during the course of your day, it's like there's never a time when you are not inhaling or exhaling. It is a constant energy flow. It's just like thinking. You're always thinking thoughts, receiving and getting thoughts. It's always happening. And that's why it's so important for you to be very conscious about falling asleep with the TV on, because whatever is going on the TV is going into your consciousness. It's going right into your holes. All right. And you'll be shocked to know what's going to flow from a lot of that stuff that you hear at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning that's on the TV. All right. Just be aware. I want you to be aware that you are the gift. You are the gift. There's a constant flow of being the gift. You are the gift, and you are constantly given and you are constantly receiving. It is a flow of energy. You're always doing that. When you show up, it's a gift. You're giving. And when you see other people and they're in their God self, you're receiving. It's constantly flowing. There is never a time when God is not flowing through you. Never. All right. One of my teachers when I was at the Spiritual Institute, Dr. Reverend Deborah Johnson, in her book, The Sacred Yes. Can you see that? The Sacred Yes. I just want to share this with you. And she says that the spiritual flow is neither determined nor defined by a single place or point in time. Even though one can make a visual distinction between the action of inhaling and that of exhaling, at the cellular level, they are taking place at the same time. In a tube, one can say this is the end where things are coming in, and this is the end where things are going out. However, in the spiritual world, there are no walls, there are no ends. There is not an opening over here and an opening over there. It just is. It is all happening simultaneously. Energy is flowing simultaneously all the time. See, God is the source, and God resources through people, places, and things. God resources through us. And as divine circulation is happening all the time, God cycles. We are in the cycle of fall right now. We'll be going into the cycle of winter. We just left the cycle of summer. You better get it in now because hey, get it in, y'all. Whatever little bit of summer you can get it in now. God cycles and he recycles through us, through people, through places, and through things. So you are the resource. You are recycling this energy so that it can keep flowing. You are it. We are it. And when you understand that you are not your own source or the source for somebody else, then you'll grow in this appreciation of what it means to be in the divine flow of spirit. I'm not my own source. I'm not. I'm not your source. I'm a resource. You're a resource. I'm a recycle because the energy flows through me and I recycle it and I show up with heaven in mind. That's how you recycle. So, can you just learn to be and then live in the beingness? Can you learn, as Reverend Spitz says, to live with heaven in mind and just live in heaven? Can we do that? And can you trust yourself enough to know that when you open yourself up to God and spirit and allow God to flow, nothing but good comes. Nothing but good can come. Because God cannot produce anything unlike itself. Cannot. Cannot. So if God is flowing through you, nothing but good can come from you. Reverend Dr. Johnson says, you are not an entity in the universe that activity is happening to. You are a place. Oh, you are a place where spirits, divine activity is happening through. It's happening through you. It's happening through you right now. It's happening through you right now. What do you need to do? What do you need to do? You don't need to do anything. You just need to be available. And what are you available to? What are you available for? How are you moving consciously through this journey called the human experience? Because we hear all of the time that we are human beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. But you get to choose what that experience is going to look like. You get to choose. And this is the commercial for Tuesday night's class. We will cover the spiritual law of choice. So come join us. That's my commercial. What are you choosing? How are you choosing? Are you choosing by default? Are you just allowing things to come to you as opposed to you allowing the Spirit to flow through you? What are you available for? Are you available for the lessons without complaint? Because that's how we learn life lessons, through experiences. How are you learning? How are you taking in the Spirit of God? How? That is your question. That is the question. You just have to be available for the experience. Because we teach and we read and we want to be aware and become more aware of how God works through us. Guess what? You really don't ever need another book. You really don't. What we need is to be connected. What we desire is to have the Spirit of God flow through us so that we can be divine representations of who God is. And that's the only way that we can live and fulfill our divine purpose. Our divine purpose is basically just to love, just to be to love. Everything that God has given us, everything that God has given us, or everything that God is, we have. It's already been given. It's already been given. So, what is it going to look like when we are available and we say yes and we allow the Spirit of God to flow through us so that we can keep this connection and this flow moving because energy has to move. Energy has to move. So, I want to take you to Matthew 25. 34 through 40. I just have to read this to you so you know what it's going to look like when we allow the Spirit of God to flow through us. When we patch up the holes in our holes and we are available to live our divine purpose. So 24 through 40 says, then the king will say to those on his right, and I'm reading from the Message Bible, enter, you who are blessed by my Father. Take what's coming to you in this kingdom. It has been ready for you since the world's foundation. Okay, so I just want to stop right there. It has been ready for you since the world's foundation. So there was never a time that it wasn't. There will never be a time that it's not, ever. You have it. Have it. And this is why. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was homeless and you gave me a room. I was shivering and you gave me clothes. I was sick and you stopped to visit, and I was in prison and you came into me. Then those sheep are going to say, Master, what are you talking about? When did we ever see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you a drink? And when did we ever see you sick or in prison and come to you? Then the king will say, I'm telling you the solemn truth. Whenever you did one of these things to someone overlooked or ignored, that was me. You did it to me. So as you live with heaven in mind, this is what it looks like to allow the divine flow of God to flow through you. Do something for someone that's been overlooked or ignored because that someone is God. Give someone a drink who's thirsty. Feed someone who might be hungry. That is God. That's how you live with heaven in mind. That's how you live with heaven in mind. I had a friend just recently, and I was telling J Love and Dr. Fabu on the pre-call that he said to me, he says, I've never seen God. And so it saddened me at first. And then I said, have you seen a sunrise and a sunset? Have you seen children playing and have you heard their laughter? Have you seen your own face in the mirror when you shave? I said, then you've seen God. And he said, no, I haven't. And I said, okay, because I wasn't there to change his mind. But if you or anybody could say something that can give them a thought, a new thought, or an inkling that there could be something greater and grander and more expansive than where they are now, then that's how you show your divine flow. It flows through you so that you can show up and walk this journey with heaven in mind. Thank you. I just want to thank Dr. Spencer Murray for that powerful word because that's how we show up. If the divine flow of love is flowing through you and you are walking and thinking and talking and feeling with heaven in mind, my God, that's all I can say is my God. My God, our God. That's all I can say. Your life will be transformed. Your mind will be transformed. How you move. And people will look and say, wow, what's going on with you? And you know what you say? I'm going with the flow. Just say, I'm going with the flow. When they see the God in you, just say, I'm going with the flow. Now, back in the day, that meant, hey, I'm cool. But today, when we're talking about living in the divine flow of spirit, when somebody asks you today, what's going on? How you doing? You say, I'm going with the flow. Yeah, I'm going with the flow. Up level your daily spiritual practice. And if you can only put 5 on it in a moment, do that. Know that you are a channel for spirit, and spirit flows through you all the time. Quit sticking holes in your own holes. Quit clogging it up. Let it flow. You were created to be divine. I think Martha Munizzi has a song called You Were Created to Be Glorious. You were created to be glorious. Created to be glorious. There's no doubt. Look at you. Just look. I just want you to go to the mirror not this moment, but when we get off this call, I want you to go to the mirror and just say to yourself, I was created to be glorious, and today I'm going with the divine flow of spirit. Mm, how about you do that? How about you do that? Okay. And you know what? In closing, I'm going to go back to woo, my good teacher, Reverend Dr. Deborah Johnson, from the Sacred Yes. She asked us to just say yes. Just say yes. She says, I have supplied. God says, I have supplied your every need. If you would just stay in a state of unconditional gratitude, if you would just give thanks and praise each day, if you would just bless everyone and everything around you, you will come to the awareness that there is so much more, such a greater bounty than you could perceive through your lack and limitation lenses. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Recognize your oneness and your connection to spirit with me, and you will live the divine flow. I thank you, Transform and Love community. I thank you. I thank you for your spirit. I thank you for showing me what God looks like, grand representation of what God looks like. I thank you. I thank you. Reverend Shahira, I thank you and I love you. I thank you and I love you. And so at this point in time, I would just like to offer that if this ministry, this Transform in Love ministry has given, shared, offered anything, anything for your spiritual well being, for your spiritual journey, for your spirit, please choose to give love offerings. And they are on the screen. You can do Givelify, PayPal, Cash App. All of this is on our website, transforminglovecommunity.com. Thank you. We thank you. We thank you from all the spaces of our hearts. We thank you. We thank you. And as we close with our prayer of protection, may the light of God surround you. May the love of God enfold you. May the power of God protect you and the presence of God watch over you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you're being, God is, and all is well. And as my angel Horace would say, go your way rejoicing, TLC, and be blessed. We'll see you on Tuesday for the spiritual study of the laws of spirit by Dan Millman. Thank you. I love you.